As children, we grow up in a society that teaches us to follow our hearts and to chase our dreams. But my question is, what happens when that chase becomes a little bit more distant? My first love and my first dream growing up was for the game of basketball. And I remember that from 7 years old to 16 years old, I dedicated my identity to this game. I was up 4 o'clock in the morning getting shots up. I would go to practice, then to training, staying up late night watching game tape after game tape. Like everything in my life surrounded this game. And I will never forget the day that my injury sealed the fate to my dream. Depression kicked in, and my life hit such a rock bottom place that I even thought about taking my own life. You see, my question today is, what happens when God says no? A lot of times our initial reaction is, why did this have to happen to me? And honestly, that's a valid reaction, because so many times in life, it can feel as if God is neglecting your dreams. But what I've come to know is God is not neglecting your dreams. No, He's redirecting them. You see, when God says no, it does not mean too bad. It means I can't wait. I can't wait for your purpose. I can't wait for your calling. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." When everything in life seems to be falling apart, you have to remind yourself who's got your back. Psalms 46 verses 1 through 3 says, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear though the earth give way, and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its rudders roar and foam, and the mountains quake with their surging." I love my mom. And my mom, she's from the South Bronx, and she's also Puerto Rican. So if y'all don't know what that means, my mom's kind of gangster. And I remember one day I went outside to go play in my neighborhood, and I got into a fight with one of the neighborhood kids. And immediately he ran home and got backup from his mom and his aunt. And I remember feeling so lonely and outnumbered, so I ran home and I told my mom what happened. And you see what happens next, my mom went literally Rocky 5 on some grown woman. But you see, from that day on, I walked in my streets with a different confidence. I walked with my shoulders back, I walked with the swagger. You see, nothing changed about me. I didn't get taller, I didn't get stronger, I didn't get smarter, but what changed was the perspective of who I had as my backup. You see, we may feel outnumbered in life with adversity, but can I tell you today that adversity cannot break you because it did not create you. Yeah. Our vocabulary needs to shift from "I want to change this" to "I will embrace this." Yeah. You see, when God says no, it's not meant to destroy you. It's meant to deploy you. Yeah. My plea today is never allow life to make you forget the day you decided to ride with Christ. Because so many people's Christian journeys are going to be predicated upon your reaction to when God says no. What I've come to know is sometimes in life, people don't need to see you preach them scripture. They need to see you living it. Yeah. Because when God says no, it's not only meant to change you, but the people around you. In other words, I've seen a lot of people come to know Jesus, not because of the transformation that has occurred in their own life, but because of the transformation that has occurred in my own life. So you see, when people come up and ask me, "JJ, aren't you mad that this perfect God crushed your dreams?" And my answer is, if only you knew. If only you knew that my father at the age of 50 received his calling because God said no. If only you knew that my old coaches and my old teammates received the hope and the joy because God said no. If only you knew that my sister gave her life to Jesus because of everything I had to go through. You see, I may not understand and be able to fully comprehend exactly what God's plans and His purposes are. But what I do know is no does not mean too bad. It means I can't wait. I can't wait for your purpose. We all know what to do when God says yes. We all know what to do when we get blessed, and we even know what to do when our lives are going perfect. But my question today is, how will you react when God says no? Thank you.